something serious.
Serious.
Scary.
Cool. So, our something serious today, you guys, is game delays. Ooh. And I want to take it further than just game delays. I want us to talk about game delays. I want us to talk about games getting announced crazy early. Even if they're not delayed, they're announced like a year in advance. And then also how like certain people do it and they announce it like 2 months before the game releases. The real big game delay that we've just recently experienced, especially as Sony players, is the Uncharted 4 getting pushed back again to May 10th.
I could have sworn you're going to say Final Fantasy 13 Versus.
Or Duke Nukem Forever.
Which is now Final Fantasy 15, which is supposed to come out on PS3. Let's talk about delays, right? I'm just
Let's talk about delays.
Okay.
I mean, there's been tons of them recently. I mean, we've had some games that we just like don't even know, like The Last Guardian. Like that game, is that ever going to release?
I have no idea, dude.
Is it?
Was it ever announced?
What is it, like 10 years ago?
Last year?
Right?
Originally 10 years ago, I think.
So personally, like game delays for me, and this might be really, really taboo amongst gamers, I'm okay with them. I'm okay with game delays. I hate when a game comes out and it's unfinished. I hate when a game is rushed. And I know the way publisher versus developer relationships work, where basically a developer can say, I need 2 years to make this game. A publisher could say, you need it out in a year. I get that's how it works. I'm not saying it's anything wrong by the publishers. They need to make money. They've got certain deadlines they need to meet to make their money, stuff like that. I get it, but I don't want an unfinished game. I want a game to come out. I want a game to work. So I'm okay with game delays, but I don't like it when a game is delayed 10 times. I don't like it when a game delay is delayed over and over and over.
Get your shit together.
Figure it out. Yep. If you need to delay a game, I get it. I understand. Tell me how long it's going to take you to finish it. Finish it. Give me the game. What do you guys think?
Well, my thought on game delays is, you say you want them to come out as finished product. That's okay. That's why you want that delay. That's okay if the game delay and then when it comes out, it's actually a finished product. Let's talk about the game that I was hyped for 13 years.
Oh no!
Wait,
don't say
Nukem.
it. Don't know.
Nukem Forever.
I knew it.
I am a fucking huge Duke Nukem fan.
Did you get the collector's edition too?
I absolutely.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay, and which is why I don't get collector editions now. Like, so that's why I'm very selective. Okay, so my problem was, okay, Duke Nukem's coming out. I love bombs. I love babes. Fucking just kicking aliens' asses, dude. I was
Testosterone.
Fucking
Buy
testosterone.
pig cops.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Everything.
Balls of steel.
Balls of steel. Yeah. Like, fucking John St. Thomas's voice was like, or John St. John, that was his name. John St. John's voice was like, it was like my lullaby going to sleep. I'm gonna kick ass and chew bubble gum. I'm like, oh, so am I.
And I'm all out of gum.
So of course when it was announced, and I got it in my PC magazine because it was on the front of it. It was the picture of him holding the gun up with the two babes behind the American flag.
Yep.
It's one of the greatest pictures I've ever seen of Duke Nukem in my entire life.
Yeah.
I was so hyped. I was like, oh, it was the first time getting hyped as a kid. Got delayed. That's fine. Changed studios, changed developers, changed publishers, changed delay. 3K got it, delay. Came out, garbage.
One of the worst games in the history of ever.
Garbage. And so delays are not good because they produce, so they can not be good.
Correct.
Because they produce a certain level of hype. You get hype like XCOM 2. This recently happened to me. I was super hyped for XCOM 2. I was so madly in love with the first XCOM. You know, the re-release, XCOM Enemy Unknown, XCOM Enemy Within.
Yep.
It was like, oh, we're going to release this. I think it was like October 24th. It's going to come out. I remember I got that day off, and I was like, Zach, we just started Insert Disc 4, and I was like, I'm going to stream it. And like, I think it was like legitimately a week before. They're like, it got pushed back to February.
Yep.
Fucking kidding me, because I had set apart a day. I set apart a time frame for this game, you know, and so to me, and then when it came out, it was a good game. It had its frame rate issues. Maybe it wasn't as polished as it could have been. They could have spent a little bit more time on it. Like, what did they do in those 3 months? I mean, how bad would it have been? And so I think that delays are very bittersweet, and they're something that maybe it's gaming as a gaming paradigm.
Umbrella,
I'm trying to think
box.
of the word.
Ooh, what's
As
that
as
action?
a universe,
Bird.
a gaming universe. Maybe we should just get real and start releasing games when they're done.
Yep.
Except Duke Nukem, because it was finished when it was finished, and it was not finished.
No.
What about you, James? Delays.
Okay, so Brandon, you and I, having worked together in the past for some time, I think you maybe will remember that I have a theory on game delays. My theory is as thus: if a game is delayed by 2 3-month increments, it's going to be okay. If a game is delayed by 6 months, it's probably going to be crap unless it has an additional 3-month increment after that original 6 months, and then it has a chance for it to be good. However, if it's 2 3-month increments and then it is delayed by 6 months after that for a total of 1 year, it's going to be complete shit.
So there's
Write this down.
He's got a full science.
I
behind
do.
this.
I've had this for years. I've had this for a long time, and it's only failed me like twice.
Bring in the
But
chalkboard.
for the most part, Brandon, I'm agreeing with you. If a game needs to be delayed for it to be a good and finished product, I am okay with that. And the last thing I'll say about it is CD Projekt Red recently. I saw the trailer finally for Cyberpunk 2077. At the very, very end of that video, it says releasing when it's finished.
Yep.
Or when it's ready.
shit.
And I
That's
was
cool.
like, hell yes. I was like, that's what I want to see from developers. But then again, we're talking about CD Projekt Red, and they're amazing.
They've always been against the fold on all that stuff, and I love them.
Yes, they're
Such good
amazing.
company.
And
studio.
that department itself, I mean, anyone that they're like, it's finished when it's ready, they're like, yeah, take your time, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, everybody's like, thank you for being truthful.
I've seen
You
your
take
trailer.
time.
I've seen your trailer.
Now-
I'll wait.
Yeah.
Not to take the host duties, but to bring up a new topic within the game delays. What about games that should have been delayed?
Like Assassin's Creed.
Like Assassin's Creed, like
the big notable one.
Star Wars
I like not
Battlefront.
having a face.
I think that Star Wars Battlefront could have used an additional 3 months.
I could have used a different studio.
Oh yeah,
There's no saving that.
or Battlefield.
like
4.
We've talked about this, Brandon.
So-
When's the last time you put it in? And I'm talking
It's
about
been
the
a bit.
game.
It's been a bit.
All right, yeah.
Your feelings though on delays.
I'm torn. Two very good viewpoints here and good math, by the way.
Thank you.
But it's like, for example, I think my biggest one is Final Fantasy 15, since we just talked about it. That game, when it came out, it was supposed to mirror the world of Final Fantasy 13, and they called it 13 Verses. Supposed to come out on PS3. Didn't happen. Got pushed. Got revamped. Final Fantasy 14. Didn't happen. That became the MMO. Final Fantasy 15. Now it's finally coming out. It has a release date. I've had a son since the time this game has come out.
And got
and
married.
I've been married.
And got
I'm
married.
married.
And you met your wife.
And I met
yeah.
my wife.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? So it just goes to show, like, delays, they mean something, especially with this. I've just been something I've been following for so long. I'm a huge Final Fantasy buff, but now it's actually happening. I'm so excited. I might cry the day of release, literally cry when it shows up on my doorstep.
I'll hold you.
But I think it's deserved for that game because they learned Final Fantasy 13 didn't do so hot. And then I think they changed the whole spectrum of it. They're like, well, shit, if this is going to mirror our not successful title, we should probably change this altogether.
We actually played Final Fantasy 13 together in the house. All of us in the
Yeah.
house owned a copy.
We
of
all
it.
took I think I took the month. I think I quit my job that day. I took the month off. I just sat there and played it. I'm pretty sure I was unemployed for that time, and I started a new job like 3 weeks later.
You started at Effie.
So yeah, and then so we then did all PS3s in one room. We had TVs back to back, so we couldn't spoil it for each other. And then so we had like 4 people, 4 PS3s, 4 TVs. Played that game nonstop. One of us beat it because some of us decided to take a nap. And then yeah, it was crazy.
But that
Big
game,
disappointment.
had a lot of promise too, and it could have
Yeah,
been a
it
big
did.
thing.
It could have been.
Had that game gotten a delay,
I don't. It got delayed twice before that though.
So I've got a question for
So-
you guys. What about games like that come out in episodic things, like the newest Hitman that just happened? You pay $60.
or 15.
They give you a single product of it, and then you wait for the rest of them. Do you think that's a smart way to kind of get away pushing a game back? Instead of saying, hey, we're going to push the whole game back, we're going to drop it in episodes, we're going to make sure everyone is polished, worked perfect by the time it releases, and then we're going to release them to you in episodes, but you're going to pay us up front for
Final
it.
Fantasy VII's looking to do that.
Well, remember, you don't have to pay for it up front if you don't want to, especially with Hitman. You can buy it in pieces. Having bought Hitman at full price already, because I got the collector's edition for
Yeah.
that. Fantastic statue, by the way. I'm normally not okay with it. The only time I've been acceptable of it has been the Telltale series games. I was totally cool with those because there was actual excitement at the end of each episode, waiting for the next one. But Hitman so far, I've played it. I had fun with it, but I didn't get bored with it too quick, which is the good thing. Because normally when I play Hitman games, I play like a third of the game and I got to stop playing it for a while because you're doing the same stuff kind of over and over again. As much as I love Agent 47, so now I get a break in between each assassination target. And they've now allowed you to vote online for who you want to assassinate. So I'm really excited about that to see at the turn that's going to make. So I'd say it's a give and take. Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's not cool.
It seems like that game's doing it really smart in ways where they kind of are giving the fans, the players, input onto the next parts of it.
Yes.
It's allowing them to go through and kind of build it around what the fans want rather than just saying, here's a product, what we have is finalized, you're done.
And
or
community
you can pay for
contracts are
DLC.
still there too. Community can still
Yeah.
create their own contracts. So
That's
you
awesome.
can keep playing.
Those were a blast in Absolution.
Absolutely.
So my thoughts on episodic games being released is it works for certain kind of games. It's going to work for Hitman Absolution or Hitman. This series I call it as Absolution, but it's going to work for Hitman because when you get Silent Assassin on a certain thing, you have this template of how you approach level, and you're going to apply it to every other level that you go to, and eventually you yourself as the gamer are going to become bored with this game that's open ended because you're doing the same thing. You are doing the same thing over and over. But releasing it in episodes allows you to play other games for a week or two, come back to the game when they release a new episode, and be
Exactly.
like, and it's refreshed. I'm gonna play it again. It does work with the Telltale games because those are episodic games, but it doesn't work for too much other stuff. Now my problem was I played the game The Wolf Among Us.
So good.
A fantastic game, awesome story. Episode 3, 4, and 5 are all delayed.
Do you think that it's going to work for Final Fantasy VII dropping in episodes?
Yes.
I don't think so, because it is, and I'm going to assume this is an assumption that it's not like Hitman, it's not like Telltale. Kind of like Telltale, but it's the same thing. So you release episode 1. All 4 of us are going to burn through that day
100%.
one.
Yes.
You're going to take the day off. I know you're going to take the day off. I
Well,
might because I've
I'm
never
gonna
played it.
Take the week off because it's going to release a little bit different. I don't think they're going to do episodes. It's not going to be like Telltales because that's their thing.
Where did
right?
that come from, though?
They came out and said it. We're going to release it in chunks. They're going to do episodes with it, okay? So watch episode 1, chapter 1, whatever you want to call it. It's like the fall of Avalanche. You play all the way from the intro to almost being sexually molested as the female. You go find the blonde wig. It could
I've
be
never
bigger.
played this
It could be bigger chunks than what we think, leading into the big pinnacle cinematics. That is a good place to cut, and then release the next segment.
So you think it's going to be broken into like maybe 3-4 parts rather than like a
bunch of parts.
chunk
I mean,
of
I
episodes?
think total 16 is what I've got figured out in my head. Because you got to realize,
Wow.
3-disc game, it
a
was
lot.
big. There was a lot of backpedaling. There was a lot of side mission stuff too. They didn't say they were cutting anything out. They just said they're going to release it in a different way, and it's going to be an
Do
episode.
you think it's going to be like how
And they
Lost
use the
Odyssey
word
was?
because it's familiar to us. You can think episodes and know that's in chunks.
Yeah.
Even Hitman right now is being viewed as episodes, but it's not like an episode of something like Telltale's does.
Do you think it's
So I
going to
think
be
it's
how
gonna be
like
big
Lost,
chapters.
like Lost Odyssey did, where Lost Odyssey had 4 discs on
Right.
the Xbox. Fantastic game if you haven't played it.
All
underrated.
different stuff.
Yeah, but all 4 discs were essentially a new episode of the game because you can continue playing disc 1. And it would warn you, hey, if you're play this mission, you are going to go to disc 2. Are you sure you want to proceed? No, because I want to go back, do the side quests, get all the different items,
And carry
find all
that
the
over.
secrets, and then you do that final epic last mission. You have that hour-long cutscene that makes you cry like a child. It is a
The game was very emotional.
Yeah.
very emotional game, super super good. And then episode 2, disc 2, which is right there in the box. Pull it out, put it in, all the way up to disc 4, which you insert. You insert disc 4,
Insert
and,
disc 4.
and then the game changes. I just
See what we did there?
No segue.
plugged.
Okay, so now I want to bring up one last topic, and this is, in my opinion, something only specific titles can do. There's a lot of people who announce games really early. There's people who delay games. Then there's Bethesda, and we'll use Fallout 4, who comes out like 2 months before the game releases, said, hey, we haven't even announced this game yet. Fallout 4, it's happening. It's going to be out in 2 months, playable. Get ready to buy it. Go right now. Buy collector's edition. They just announced everything, right? And there was a lot of hype. A lot of people kind of knew it was coming, but they didn't officially make the announcement till 2 months. It hit. hit the ground running. Game came out, was playable, worked well. It had a few bugs here and there, but really that any Bethesda games you kind of come to expect.
Bethesda and bug go hand in hand.
Yeah, you accept it.
But they really, I mean, for a huge game like that to release 2 months after announcement, I think that's a huge thing. Now, me saying that, I also do not think every game has that same. I don't think every company can come out and do that.
No.
Fallout can do it, Skyrim, Bethesda can do it with their big temple titles. And I love that. I think it's fantastic. I don't think that every game developer can say our game comes out in a couple months, jump on it now.
Not all series have the ability to do that. You're, you're absolutely right.
I would love to see that be the way things went, but I understand companies need to build hype. I understand companies want to sell product. You know, in those months building up, they'll release product, they'll, toys, stuff like that, and that'll help build the hype. It'll help make them more money. Bethesda doesn't need that with a big temple title like Fallout 4.
Because they're Bethesda, yeah.
But what do you guys think about like releases like that, like big announcements that just hit the ground, boom, go, ready?
I wish it would happen more often.
Yes, agreed.
Because that to me built the most unbelievable hype in me because it was tangible. And in this day and age, my generation, our generation, probably your generation even included, we like that instant gratification. We're the same generation, but you have a little bit more of wisdom, street knowledge, and smarts on us. You're a good guy.
I've been around. I've been around.
But no, I mean,
I'm old.
We like that instant gratification. When we play a game, we kill a monster, we want the loot.
Yep.
When you're playing the first person shooter and you get those hit marks and they die, you want the score. When the game gets announced, you want the game.
Indeed.
So waiting a year by halfway, like let's look at a game that I'm super hyped for, or was, No Man's Sky. That fizzled because they announced it way too early. Had they announced it maybe in November-ish, saying, hey, this is this game, No Man's Sky, look how big it's going to be. We're announcing it on the internet. And then they go to E3, they show a whole bunch of it off, and it comes out a month later.
I literally have zero interest for that game now.
I think it plays the other side too, because it's like, so there's certain titles, right? You can announce, everybody has an expectation for it. You don't have to trickle out information, and you know what you're buying in a month or two, right? Like Final Fantasy 15. The announcement date was set. Like, come here on March whatever, find out release, and cool. Comes out this year. Awesome. I'm glad it wasn't next year, because I was thinking March next year at this point, if that's what they were going to do, a full year from the time they announced it, whatever. Bethesda
15 months.
Right. God, kill me. So, but with Fallout, this is Fallout 4. Bethesda can absolutely do that with the title. It's another Fallout. You know what to expect. We've shown a few things. Here's a big 30-minute segment on it. You should be excited by this point. You've been waiting for it. It's been hush-hush since. They could do it again with I almost said Skyrim. They could do it again, too, with Elder Scrolls if they wanted. They could be like, Elder Scrolls game coming out in 2 months. You guys know what to get. This is the 5th or 6th iteration, whichever one you've played beforehand. You know what you're getting. Other games are like No Man's Sky, right? You could show off stuff of like Elite Dangerous and try to like savvy it up to these other titles. But stuff like that, it has to end up on other talk shows. It has to get on the internet. It's got to have trailers playing before every video to get people out there to do enough digging to get interest. And then you just have to hope that when when another big chunk is listed out again, they have eyes on it and they know, okay, this is what was announced last year. This is what is announced this year. Now there's speculations. Maybe it'll get a VR announcement. You have to create those ideas to get people wrapped around it. Sure, the hype might be gone for most people, but it's going to sell.
Do you think that maybe that's why that game isn't out yet? Because Sony told them to stop and wait for the VR?
I got my own things on that. But Sean Murray, the guy that makes it with Hello Games, he went on a talk show. I can't remember if it was Jimmy Fallon or some other talk show. He went on one of the bigger ones. He named a planet after the talk show host. Stephen Colbert named all the animals and everything else too, but the way he was moving the controller was really weird. Like it was missing a part. The controller was fine, but the way his hands moved, it's just not how you would control that kind of game. So people are thinking when he was using the touchpad, it's the VR motion that should be taking place. That makes sense, but we'll see.
So obviously we're all big gamers. A lot of our extra disposable income goes to gaming. Obviously we do it, it's what we do. We play video games, we talk about them. It's, everything we put into it. But a lot of people maybe don't, might not be as invested into it as us. So do you think those longer announcements might be more helpful for them as well? They can plan out what games I'm going to buy. I know what game's going to come out in 6 months, so I know I can save up for that. Oh, and another game's going to come out in 8 months. So do you think some of that might be geared towards a larger audience, trying to draw some of those in? Because I know for us, we love that instant gratification. Bethesda announced collector's edition. Freaking everyone in my household sitting there. We got 4 of them of the Pip-Boy editions.
Stop bragging about it.
Yeah, this is like the fifth or sixth time
Yeah.
you brought this up.
It's a
Yeah.
fifth. It's
Please
a fifth.
fucking stop.
It's an important topic. It's just showing that
It's not a fucking
This is
important
not
topic.
important. This is you just bloating.
This is you
gloating.
metaphorically rubbing your fucking ball sack across my upper lip. Okay?
you would love
Stop.
it.
You just did this 2 days ago on Twitter.
Just stop.
No,
Yeah, right.
Really though,
Posting that picture. The fuck, Brandon.
my point is though,
We say get better at
You're
social
better than us. We
media.
get it.
Not yet. Yeah.
for Phatt Island Gaming, we were able
Oh,
to
now it's
buy.
the company.
We were able to get 4 of them, take them, and order it. And that's maybe not something that a normal household could do. They're not going to go.
True.
That ended up being like $400, and almost $500 after everything in Pip-Boy editions. That's absurd, and I know it. It's true. But we
know.
have that. We are willing to spend that money. We're willing to invest in that, and we're willing to do it the hour it happened because they sold out in an hour.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of those long announcements maybe aren't geared towards us.
That happened to me just recently with the PlayStation VR starter kit.
Yeah.
I really, really want one. And I remember hearing you guys think about it. I really, really want one, but I unfortunately didn't take the time to invest into looking into when the announcements come out. So the announcements came out, they sold out on Amazon. Then they're like, oh, we sold out so fast, let's open up a new one now. And you got it. And I was like, and I went in later that day and it was gone.
Oh, I got just the VR headset.
But I
didn't
want
get
the starter kit because
kit.
I don't have any of the other
Right,
stuff.
right.
I thought that I had ordered it. I thought that I had clicked confirm. I even shared with someone. I clicked confirm. It's mine now. No, I didn't
I'm
hit
so
it.
sorry.
I don't have it. I'm pretty pissed.
So I think
Announcements like that make sense because,
Yeah.
I'm glad it didn't wait. I was worried if it released in E3, like the information, that's 2 more months people could have had to build up that wallet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To buy a big product like this. So they were smart doing it when they did to get it out there. I'm so happy that was their decision because now it's like it gives somebody like me ample amounts of time to build up
and pay
that
off.
cash, just buy it outright as soon as Amazon pulls out that money.
So I'm really excited to see what you guys think about what's the appropriate time frame for a game to be released. Should it be a really short release like Bethesda likes to do? Should it be a longer release like, let's say, Final Fantasy 15?
Not 13 years.
And where do you feel on delays? Are they okay? Are only when they're needed? And what's the appropriate time to push back? So you guys leave it in the comments. We love to hear from you guys. Tweet it at us. Just let us know what you guys think. So thanks for hanging out.